It was Missy's idea to spend the first few hours of Black Friday in front of a computer screen. The weather, as often during that time of the year, was awful. Perhaps an omen I should have picked up on from the start. Most shops won't open till 9 anyway. Isn't it best to get a head start? That's what she said on Thanksgiving evening, half drunk, but still quite alert. Tia agreed. She desperately needed to find a wedding dress for elopement in just 2 months. As for me, why not? I still remember those words coming from my mouth, though now they sound alien somehow. Had I known, what would have changed? We sat down around Missy's old computer. Apparently, she didn't want to use her good laptop for some reason. As the ancient machine whirred to life, I couldn't help but notice that Missy was acting a bit oddly. She kept on looking between us and her phone, tapping something into her device every couple of seconds. You good? Your dinosaurs come back to life. Tia nudged her on the shoulder, evoking a quiet yelp. Missy's always been a bit jumpy, but I couldn't help but wonder just why she was being so weird. Yeah, I was just looking up the link to the website I want to start with. It's a bit obscure, so you can't just search it up easily. Isn't that, illegal? I asked. Perhaps illegal wasn't the best word, but it sounded perhaps a touch too good to be true. Nah, it's used by millions every year. Or so their page says, at least. We loaded up the sketchy-looking website only a few minutes later. It looked broken, with half the text being just links copy-pasted all over the site. Click here for sales, some of them said. The others were a bit more disturbing. Looking for the perfect woman? Click here to see her live. Lost your beloved? We can get her back for you. What the heck is this thing? Tia tilted her head to the side as she said that, lips pursed. She was clearly unimpressed, and so was I. Are you sure it's safe? Missy hummed, typing BF sale into the search bar on the very top. It is. I use it all the time to nab sales. Come on, don't be such a wimp. I wasn't sure how to feel about the whole thing either. I couldn't help but remember those old internet safety videos my parents made me watch again and again growing up. Don't give out your personal information just to anyone, I murmured to myself, but shook my head when the others looked at me. Memories I tried to suppress clawed at my mind, begging me to leave the room. Still, I had no choice but to stay. I desperately needed new clothes for work. My boss had been scolding me again and again for not wearing the right stuff, and well, he was threatening to fire me. I was broke, though, way too broke to afford the fancy garb he wanted his waitresses to wear. When I left my unkind ex a year ago, I was barely able to escape him. I had nothing but the clothes on my back. I shook my head, trying not to get too caught up in the thoughts as we all wrote in our email addresses, names, and more. Make sure to type your middle name right and allow tracking, Missy said at some point. I didn't take you for having so much attention to detail, Missy, I joked. You wouldn't have been fired from your last job if you had it back then. Missy scowled, but said nothing. Seconds later, as she hit the enter button, our profiles appeared on the website on the right. But there is something off. Why are we here as items? I asked, reading the labels again and again to make sure this was made by foreigners or whatever. Miss muttered, biting down on her lip. She was anxious about something. Huh? I was taken aback when the ancient web camera Missy had attached to her screen made a loud noise. Only then did I notice that the light to its right was blinking red. It was recording. Is this supposed to happen?
Yes.
The answer didn't come from Missy, but from her speakers. My blood froze in my veins. Someone's watching us. I said those words out loud, though perhaps I should have stayed quiet. But I knew that voice. Huh? Oh, no, that was just some silly audio clip I clicked on. Here, look, I found the store you guys wanted to hit up. See? 90% off. Go choose whatever you want. Missy bounced back from looking nervous, her lips stretching into a smile. It was odd, I realized. She was wearing fancy makeup I'd never seen on her. Even her shirt was brand new, which was strange. right before Black Friday, really. What the? It must be a blackout. I'll go and see if I can fix it. That was the last time I saw Missy. I wanted to ask her to stay, to not leave us alone in her room in the dark, but my voice was frozen in my throat. At that point, I didn't even understand just why I was so scared, but I was shaking. And then I realized it. This whole setup was nothing but a game that he and his friends made up to mess with me. But why did Missy sell me out? We need to get out of here. I stood up, grabbing Tia's hand. She looked perplexed as well, her head tilted to the side. What? We need to leave now. I dragged her down the stairs, my heart pounding in my throat so loudly I was worried whoever was lurking in the shadows could hear it. I knew it, though. The second we sat down in front of Missy's old computer, we'd lost. Winning meant freedom. Losing, well, it stood for nothing short of misery. And yet I knew that I was just amusing them even more.
Stop. Don't even think about moving any further, Cecilia. By the way, Missy, darling, thank you for your help. I left you some extra cash on the sofa. Treat yourself to something nice.
The same voice as before, though less distorted, came from right behind my ear. I knew it. It was him. Missy had sold my location out to my ex, but why? I didn't have time to think, not when large hands grabbed my neck, rough on my soft skin.
Stay quiet, and everything will be fine.
I obeyed, but I knew he was lying. Nothing would be fine again. Not when I had him in my life.
I stood in the bedroom, gazing out of the window with a sense of dread. My wife, the one I had promised to love forever, was gone, and I couldn't say I was looking forward to her return, but I had to wait and watch, just to ensure that the conversation with my brother remained our little secret, safe from her ears. But you need to get that before the end of the year. When are you gonna do it? Black Friday. Crushed by a sea of people? Dang. No, people are unpredictable. It'll have to be merchandise. That's a little harder. Can you do it? Maybe something in the workout section. We've got these new bench sets and super heavy with all the weights, and they keep them up high. Okay, so can you do it? I can rig something up. Good. It's just around the corner before the holidays. It'll be the perfect excuse to get out of going to her family's house for Christmas. Damn, that's dark. You're just gonna ghost them? Not having to go to their house makes it worth it, even without the money. That bad? Do you really have to ask? They seemed alright to me. I've got better things to do than burn my life away listening to another BS fishing story from her dad, or the latest gossip from her mom. Yeah, Susan's family is the same. Oh, and we're doubling down. What? 2 words. Wrongful death. Genius. Never let a tragedy go to waste. They'll probably offer a deal. They don't want the press of a trial. I hear stories about it all the time. Not my store, but others. I'll gladly accept a reasonable offer. After all, I am a reasonable man. Does that mean I get more too? 20% of the total take. All to get out of Christmas. Remind me not to invite you to New Year's. Yeah, right. With all that cash, we'll be living like kings. What are you gonna tell her parents? I'll tell them I'm away dealing with my grief or some crap like that. Damn straight. Oh, and the tow truck is a go. I have a migrant driver. He's set to go as plan B. You just have to give him a call the day of if we need him to back off. He's chill? Yeah, he just needs the cash. There's a tow he can steal from a family member. They work late, so they should be sleeping. He says he can make it look like a joyride. He's illegal and he's new here, so no prints in the system, and he won't be in a hurry to get involved with law enforcement. Perfect. Hey, I meant to ask, how are you gonna get there the day of? And how are you gonna get her there? We'll drive together. I'll tell her we need a new TV or something. You think she'll buy that? I'll figure it out. You just worry about your part. Just make sure you don't drive back with her if plan A doesn't go right. Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon. As she walked through the door, I couldn't help but envision the hefty payout I had carefully planned to receive from our life insurance policy. It was ironic to think that just last week she had chided me for my supposed lack of follow-through, and little did she know I was now fully committed to following through with the plan I had set in motion.
I'm home.
Hey, sweetie. Damn, you're looking fine. Did you get your hair done?
I look...
$1 million.
Oh, stop. And actually, there's something I wanted to